Good morning. The program is a Daybreak. My name is Peggy Wikwari, and we want to look at the health segment. This morning, I have with me Pastor Usifo Ewere. Is member Edo Drug Control Committee. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
Very grateful.
And Josephine is still much around with us this morning. Jojo, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. We'll be looking at this topic this morning: socially acceptable drugs.
Right.
A very beautiful one, indeed. So I want to ask this question: what are the socially acceptable drugs?
Generally, drugs are categorized into three. You see, that is legal, illegal, and the third one is socially acceptable drugs. This is the very, very common ones around about. People don't see it as a drug because it's accepted in almost every social function you find yourself in this country. The naming ceremony, birthday, burial, you will always find them there. Celebration of whatever kind, you will always find these drugs there. That's why it's called social acceptable. Even though they are drugs, people don't consider it. But at this point in time, we need to let people know that they are drugs. And they are also abuse and more also addictive too.
Okay. Will you say drinking is socially acceptable drugs?
And let me just flat it out. You have in the group of socially acceptable drugs, you have alcohol,
Okay.
which you find in everything, beer, gogoro, local, or that one.
Action bitters.
All the sake. In fact, it is there's a way we used to put it. It is the intoxicating ingredient you find in any of these drinks, as long as that thing contains a percentage of alcohol, no matter how volume, no matter how small, even the 1%, half percent alcohol is alcohol. It's a socially acceptable drug. That is one. Number two is tobacco. Tobacco is a socially acceptable, whatever brand, more London, anything called tobacco is a socially acceptable drug. And of course, the third one, which is very, very common among cola, non-bitter cola, white cola, blue, green cola, they are all socially acceptable because they contain addictive substance and they also abuse.
Okay. You find people, especially the third one you just said, cola.
Cola, no.
Cola, no. People take it when they don't want to sleep, or maybe they want to read to help them. Now, what will you say about that?
Right. The joy we have about cola nut or bitter cola is that they are still very at their natural state. The ingredient that is abused inside that is called caffeine.
Okay.
It's still at the natural state, so it's only built up over time. It is not yet refined. If it are refined, it becomes something different. But at that natural state, our God is a very good God. He just deposits small thing there. So even if somebody is taking it over time, but because that is what we call, you see people that are taking cola nut, it's not just a one-time thing. Only a few people take it a one-time thing. Once you have started taking cola nut, you're going to take cola, even when sleep catch you, even when sleep did catch you, even when you don't even need sleep. You don't see people driving taking cola nut, those ones need sleep. They don't need sleep. It's become part of them. That is the addiction we are talking about. Something, a habit has been formed of cola nut. And this build-up can become so large in the future.
Okay.
And it can cause cyst or tumor. And if it bursts, it can become what people call cancer out there. Most of the things we call cancer in the stomach or anywhere, you don't really know where it comes from, or any build-up or block. Name them, they come from somewhere. As you are taking in that nicotine, that caffeine is building up somewhere. Then at a point in time, biologically, the flesh or the fat will build it up, suck it, put it together. And even if you put it together, it's just something short in one place. One day it will burst.
Okay, what you are talking about now, you're talking about the negative effects. So do we have positive effects?
Definitely, you just said something.
Okay.
Somebody say, I want to take cola nut because I don't want to sleep. You see, sometimes we look at this important. There are both positive and negative importance when you say something is important. We don't want to sleep. That is why we said there are also some drugs that people take for coping skill. Just cope. The situation is so bad. You don't want to. But I can assure you, if you take adequate rest, you take adequate exercise, you don't need cola nut to sleep. You can just go to your bed and sleep away. And as I always tell people, when you are thinking, and what you are thinking is not going to produce result, is already stress. Your thought, the output of your thought is not solution, it's stress. And this is what people are doing, build up here and they're causing stress to themselves unnecessary. If you are just thinking and you are not seeing that result, the solution will come up. You better stop that line of thought. Look for another thing else. So just build yourself up. There are so many negative things we put in our bottle up and it becomes so terrible. If you now begin to ask of there is nothing that does not have a little good side, and there is nothing that does not have the other. The only thing is that our people, they dwell more on the negative side of it.
Okay. Then let's talk about the advantage. We see the effect of the taking of kola nut. The first one you mentioned, can we say paracetamol is a socially acceptable drug?
Never. I have not said so. I've just mentioned those.
Okay, let me go.
No, why I mentioned it? No, some people they take paracetamol.
No, you said socially. Let's leave that out. How do I? Let's talk about this alcohol, bitter cola, cola nut. How do I get to that level to like refrain myself from abusing this? Because definitely I go to socials, I take these things. But when will it like get to the part of me to say I'm abusing this already? What time should the person refrain from abusing this?
I want to start by saying advise yourself. Definitely, none of this drug is counter good. I have to just tell you the truth. Even if you look at alcohol, if you look at the expenses that go with alcohol alone, it's enough for you to daybreak. Let's look at it from that point of view. You just take a particular bottle, maybe 2 or 3 a day. Just calculate the effect, and as I think manage from your own salary. I'm not talking about it when you donate it to somebody. You know, people and the alcohol, people that take drugs, they are always good donors, because they also receive when they don't have. So as I think, assuming you take, let me just make it easy, 2 bottles of beer a day, and for 31 days, you can imagine. So when you now look at it, maybe let us look at it now from the financial point of view. You now look at it that this thing is eating so deep in your income. You now begin to look at how to do for a step back.
So you just have to advise yourself.
Seriously. And sometimes your friend will even tell you that the way you are going, get a CP. A man that is, for example, that is not able to take responsibility of ordinary feeding in his house, and outside is a smoker and is a drinks, because like I always tell people, anybody that is a smoker, he must drink.
Okay, let's talk about these energy drinks. Okay. We have red wine also, red wine, white wine. They say these are good for the heart, and even the Bible says something. Say drink a little wine for your stomach's sake. All right. So if I'm going to be taking this and I should refrain from it, I'm still asking that question. If I go to socials now, if I take 1, I take 2, they have other benefits. Should I just stop because maybe I cannot stop myself from abusing it? Should I just stop totally, or I should take when I'm in the socials and after that I shouldn't take again?
You know, you see, when you look at, when we discuss the issue of drug abuse, we also categorize occasional users.
Okay, all right.
Yes. There are people that will just take it occasionally when it's available, or when they can afford it, or when they come to a situation that I will not be able to say I won't take. Those kind of people, they find it ordinarily, either they are by themselves or economically find that I don't want. They don't buy by themselves. They wait for those kind of things. So it's even easier for those kind of people, because then that means you have to look for a situation where you don't get to the place where somebody will offer you. That is the way of stopping. There are parties, there are occasions. You might just show your face, and it's like I just made. You see the first statement I made. Just advise yourself. Yes. I didn't say the Bible says so. But if you want me to go that way, it's another long story, because there is something that happened in the land where Timothy was, and in that land the water is not good. That is why the brother, the senior pastor, Paul, was now telling him, take alcohol for that stomach's sake. The water there is ionic. You need to till it down.
Okay, we have good water now. They shouldn't be taking it for stomach's sake. But before Peggy, we ask you the other question. A lot of people take this energy drink.
Honestly,
energy drink is everywhere. Do that one still have side effects, or it helps to boost your energy?
I think there are a lot of stories outside there. They just tell you, but for example, they tell you that stout is medicinal because it is black.
And it's bitter.
It's bitter, you see.
Yeah.
And
Anything bitter is good for the body.
That's how they. But unfortunately, you have to know that the number of the cubes of sugar that enter into that bitter thing is more than the one that is even in 7-Up. The cubes, so that you can take it. You can even see that somebody's already building up diabetes. Now, the energy drink. You know, I made one statement. Let me
That which you just said, I will take it with a pinch of salt because you are not into that field.
Okay.
You are just a member of
the drug control
committee. And we're asking you some questions based on your field work.
Okay.
You've been going out to do field work. So that's why we are asking you some questions because you are not in the right place to say some things.
Okay. I think it like that. The reason why I would not want to argue with you two, I am not really in that side, but I used to be in that side. I once spoke in the bureau. So I will leave that side.
That's nice. That's nice.
So I want to say, the energy drink that I spoke about, I made a statement when I started. I said, there is a percentage of alcohol in every drink. So if there is a percentage of volume, sometimes they call it volume, of alcohol in it, alcohol is alcohol. Whether you call it energy or call it boost or name, just name whatever you want to call it. As long as that percentage there contains alcohol, it doesn't. So minimal, the difference between, for example, somebody that take one shot of Ogoro supply water, and that's somebody that take one bottle of beer. They are just almost at one that shot is so conk, it's so concentrated. And you have to till it down. I may just mention this one to you. One bottle of beer that is not yet missed is 1 carton in the beauty cycle.
So that supply water, that local gin that they used to wash their mouth, you see they use it. So it's more deadly than.
It can even burn your tongue if you are not used to it.
So the bottom line, you shouldn't just get into taking these things.
That is exactly what we are.
When you go out, you should go for water.
For water. And like I said, we mentioned something occasional. And people are able to also push themselves to a level that he just advise himself, no matter how the number, sometimes when this thing is too free, this thing is free, you go to a party, anytime you say bottle, it comes. When it's too free, people tend to
I'm not buying it, so they are the one giving me now.
So if you advise yourself from home,
advise yourself.
Say, okay, some people have come to that level. I've counseled many. The highest I do a day now is just one bottle. Even
somebody at home, they will just make it as a duty in the morning, start taking.
All right. Thank you so much. According to some person who's seen a small melute they enter, they go worry. So you just have to advise yourself. You know your capacity, know your maximum, the one you can take. Even when you are in the social, just know what you can take. A lot of persons are abusing drugs, even for that socially acceptable one or the other substances. But you should advise yourself. You know what to take. First of all, love yourself. If you love yourself, you take care of yourself. Thank you, Mr. Ewe Osifo, for your talk. He is a member of Drug Control Committee. I need to put that state. I said those state drugs. Thank you so much for that. That was our show this morning from Peggy.
Say goodbye and not to take socially acceptable drugs. God bless you.